to our sponsors. You'll hear from each of them in just a moment. Directions Home Loan, Rhino Roofing, and Joseph Creek Homes. Now, I was at Mega Camp this last week, and we went to a team leader mastermind, and they did something there. The lady that was leading this did something there that they do at their market centers, and it was actually quite impressive. And so I'm going to try to institute a new thing here at Heritage during team meetings, and you're going to help me do that when we get to these vendors here, as we call them up in a little bit. I'll explain it then, but just be prepared to get a workout during team meeting too. So just be prepared. That's all I can say. All right. So, but first, I know the market is slow. We're hearing about the malaise. I am not one to want to dwell on bad news. I don't like it, the negative echo chamber you get in. Then you start saying, well, gee, nothing's selling. Why make the effort? I don't want to do that. So what I want to do is start off with wins. So tell me a win in your personal life or your business life that we can celebrate with you. Who's got a good win this year? Salima, stand up and give us a win.
I got my first listing from Neighborhood Farming in 2 years. So this is the first time I got a listing.
So 2 years of neighborhood farming, and you got your first listing out of it. So perseverance right there. That is a win. Even in a slow market, the perseverance definitely wins. Who's else got a win? Who can we celebrate out here? Oh, Jaime.
I got to share the win because you know how you're hearing like people say the market is slow. I've got a seller client who followed our process to the T. Faith Brown came in, we did a staging consult with the furniture that they already have. So they didn't bring new furniture in, she just helped them navigate that. And we're on the market 19 days and got a really good offer. So the market responds to how you prepare. And we'll talk about like the go-to nuggets for Mega Camp, but there's so much power in preparation, pricing, and presentation. If you follow that, you're not gonna have listings sitting on the market.
Very cool, thank you. All right, here we go. Jeannie Murphy, give us a win.
Hey team, happy Thursday. I just wanted to share the win is all about team. Some of you know I got sick earlier this year, going through physical therapy for almost 4 months. Had to learn to re-walk, but my team carried me the way and I capped, so praise God.
All right, and she's on Misty Rios, the River City team. Great team. Community is where it's all about, right? That's what I love about the Keller Williams model and Heritage in particular. Family is everything. Donald, I know you've got a huge win. You've been in the business how long?
Since August of last year.
So 1 year, and your big win is?
I got my first listing.
How did you get these clients?
It was a referral. Yeah. But their son wants to buy, and then, of course, they're going to need a home, so they're going to buy again. So maybe 3 transactions in one.
3 transactions out of 1 referral. That's sticking with it right there. Congratulations, Donald. First listing. Yes. Hi. Stand up. Tell us your win.
Well, I had been doing not so good this whole summer, but I had a closing last week, and I just picked up 3 more buyers, and I'm showing homes tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm so thankful.
And we love buyers in this market for sure. I will not take a gift card, but I have a personal win. My son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter moved down from Colorado and are now in San Antonio and staying with me, so I get to be around my granddaughter. So that's a win for me. Miss Karen, Rachel. I messed that one up already.
So today I celebrate 8 years in real estate. I just noticed the date on my computer. And then I set a goal for myself in December when Grant was asking us our goals for this year, and it was 150 transactions, and I'm at 155, and we're not even in 4th quarter yet.
She does TC work, by the way. Those aren't all her closings. Some are, but I just want to be clear. She's not like out there killing it at over 10 a month herself. She's amazing, though, as a TC. All right, you have a win. Janet, give it to us.
I just want to remind everyone that the key's in the follow-up. So a year and a half ago, I had 10 acres for sale, and everybody that called me from the sign, I just kept touching base with them, and I just got a really huge buyer under contract this month after like following up with him every month. And there was times where I was like, okay, maybe I should just stop. Like he's like annoyed, right? And he was just waiting for the right time. So the key's in the follow-up.
Follow-up, perseverance, longevity in this business, you will survive it. There's a lot of agents getting out of this business. I was talking to one of our top agents this last week. You know what we've been expecting for the last couple years is NAR membership to fall off a cliff. Anyone heard that? Realtors are going to fall off by 30%. Well, what we realized is it's easy to get a license and it's easy to keep a license. That doesn't mean they're in the business. Y'all showing up here, y'all putting in the hard work, you're going to take territory back when we get out of this, and I don't know when that looks like, but you guys are grinding away. All those people that hold a real estate license and are paying dues, but they're off doing a full-time job somewhere else, suddenly things get good, they're going to come back in and they'll be like, new contracts, new laws, I don't know what I'm doing. You guys are sharpening your swords when things are tough. You're sharpening your axe, so when the forest is ready to be harvested, you guys, you're going to crush it. So just keep up that good work, keep up the perseverance. Don't let the naysayers drag you out of this because you guys are the best of the best. So with that, Mr. Rudder, you want to come on down and help me? All right, my clicker's not working again. What did I do? Dan, somebody help. Wow, we're going way too fast. All right, y'all know this, our Y4C2Ts. Dave is going to tell you the first one, and I need y'all to be loud on the second part. So take it away, Dave. If you want, here, you got to have that.
All right, cool. All right, everyone. Win-win.
Or no deal.
Integrity.
Do the right thing.
Customers.
Always come first.
Communication.
Seek first to understand.
Commitment.
In all things.
Creativity.
Ideas before results.
Trust.
Starts with honesty.
Teamwork.
Together, everyone achieves more.
Equity.
Opportunities for all.
And success.
Results through people. All right. Thank you, Dave Rudder. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. All right. Before we get to our vendors, y'all know our TCPA disclaimer. Please do not call, text people on the do not call list. Normally we gloss over this, and I'm not one to gloss over things like this. Literally on Tuesday, so 2 days ago, Heritage got served with, get this, a federal lawsuit over 2 text messages that one of our agents sent to a former owner of property, or maybe he still owns property here, that lives in California. This guy has hired a Florida attorney who's filed a Northern District of California federal lawsuit trying to get a class action lawsuit against us over 2 text messages. Guys, I'm not out here just saying be careful for the fun of it. I'm out here because there are idiots and greedy, hungry lawyers out there that are going to come after us over the most frivolous things. So now I got to go out to California and hire us an attorney that beat this sucker back. And we're going to win because it's stupid, but we still have to go through it. So please, 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 if you have systems that send out auto-generated text, that list has to be scrubbed. If you're hiring ISAs, those lists have to be scrubbed. Please take this seriously and prospect responsibly on that because, man, we don't want to lose a federal lawsuit on TCPA. So that's it. All right, so I know we had an up, that was a little down. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's what I learned at the team leaders session, mastermind session at Mega Camp. What this lady does at our market center, and I got to tell you, it feels really good. When I call up our first vendor, and then I should have done it when Dave Rudder came up, we ought to do it every time someone is invited to the stage. Y'all gonna come out of your seats and give them a standing ovation. Trust me, 1, you'll feel good about it 2, and they're gonna feel the love in this room. So, Directions Home Loan, come on down. Everyone get up, give them a standing ovation. Megan, good to see you. Doesn't that feel good? Like I said, y'all gonna get a workout today.
Okay, well that made me feel a lot better because I am super nervous, but I am thrilled to be with you all today representing Directions Home Loan. Looking around the room, I see familiar faces. Some of you I've known for a long time, and some of you I've just met. Some of you I've seen peeking into my office right here on the first floor with a grimace as you walk past thinking, who is that lady who's taken one of our coveted conference rooms? It's me, and I'm not sorry. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm excited to be here as a resource for you, and I'm excited to be helping your clients. It's no secret, right, that most mortgage lenders can offer the same products and programs, whether that's a traditional program like conventional, FHA, VA, or USDA, or perhaps you have a client that needs more specialized financing. They might fall under a non-QM umbrella. Or maybe they just need assistance with down payment or closing costs, so we're going to put them on a DPA loan. No matter the case, if you're using a lender currently that boasts niche products or programs, we can offer it too. But beyond the product, you might be wondering, how do I stack up on rates? So across the board, I am competitive in interest rates. So the next question, if the money is the same, then why choose Megan? Why use Directions Home Loan? And that's simple. It comes down to service. At Directions Home Loan, we are committed to serve with honesty, hustle, and heart. My absolute passion in this business is educating and motivating clients. Our clients deserve honest and clear expectation. Many of them are entering the market now feeling scared. They're nervous, it's overwhelming, and they're intimidated by the numbers. My job is to take that client, whether they are a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor, and I need to teach them, educate them, so they're motivated and feel fully empowered to make the purchase. And I know that a client that feels confident about their loan, that they understand what the loan is doing, that they are going to make fast offers and they stay committed to the deal. So that brings me to hustle. In this business, speed and communication are everything. You will never, ever have to chase me down for a status update. And my team and I hustle to make sure that our files are clean, that our approvals are tight, and that our communication is proactive. And we close on time every time. If John's here, we have a clear to close we just got yesterday, 2 weeks ahead of closing. Yay! So that's awesome. So that keeps you looking like a rock star agent, and it keeps me from having to make difficult phone calls. And finally, we lead with heart. To me, a loan is never just a transaction or a number on a spreadsheet. I treat your clients with the exact same care, respect, and dedication that I would give to my own family members. And that means showing up for them. I attend my closings. I have never, to date, missed a closing. Even if a client is closing remotely, so they're out of town, I will join them with a FaceTime call or Zoom. You are a part of Heritage because of the support and culture it provides. In the short time that I've been here in this office, I have experienced firsthand that family atmosphere. And I'm really proud to introduce you to mine. So we have some of our team here today, and we'll be around after the meeting and would love an opportunity to visit with you and get to know you a little better. But right here to my left is our CEO of Directions Home Loan. This is Easton Crafts. And someone that I have known a long time, and some of you may have already worked with her, a fellow loan officer, Nova Voorhees. I've known Nova since I was 19 years old, starting out in this business, and she has been a mentor and great friend. And then you probably all recognize this beautiful face at the end, Augurit Smiley. She is with me always, attending events. She is my marketing director, and make sure that the things that we put out, co-branded material, looks as beautiful as you all are. And then last but not least, we have Jackie Silva. She's sitting here with me today. She is my production manager. So when we have deals that are challenging, maybe I'm having to wrap my mind around something that's complicated and I need some reassurance and I want to make sure that we're poking holes and not letting anything slip through the cracks, Jackie Silva is a wealth of knowledge. She knows all things mortgage, and I rely heavily on her support. So thank you all so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you guys very much. So Megan said she's known Nova since she was 19. So what, like all of 2 or 3 years? You look very young. All right. Our next, I have a quick announcement. There we go. Career Visioning is a class that Keller Williams wrote years ago, and it's about how to hire very, very well for your business, for your life. And it's called Career Visioning, and it's more than just how to hire. It's actually how to establish a vision for your career. And one of the things when I took it, because I have to hire assistants under me in Heritage, one of the things it teaches you is how to create a vision big enough for your business, for your life, that you can bring other people into it. Imagine creating something so big that other people's visions fit inside what you're going to do, and they're the right people to take you to that next level. And it may be scary, right? You might be dreaming so big you're like, I freaked out over how big that vision is. Career Visioning helps you break it down and go through the process. So if you are on the verge of starting a team, maybe you have a team and you want to know how to grow it bigger and better. If you have another business and you just don't know how to hire well for that other business, what does that look like? I encourage you, please take Career Visioning. We're going to have it here in the Market Center on September 29th. It normally costs $150, but we made a deal with this speaker, with the presenter, $100 for Heritage agents. So if you want to take it, it's $100. It's a full day investment. Wendy Papasan is one of the best presenters and speakers there is. So you will not walk away going, man, that was a waste of $100. If nothing else, you will come away blessed by her. So I encourage everyone, please take Career Visioning. It is really an amazing program. All right, we're going to continue to mix things up, and normally we have our amazing topic towards the end of things, but we're going to mix it up a little bit, and we're going to have our main topic right now. So will you stand up and help me welcome to the stage Jaime Aguillon, Janet Favela, Sarah Comet, and Melissa Andrade. Come on down. You guys are the next contestants on KWT Meeting. I just saw Melissa walk in. She had no idea we're doing it this early. She's running a little late out there. So these 4 agents and a lot of others just completed going to Mega Camp last week, and I ran into them all over the place. I know they're out there taking in the knowledge, hearing the speakers, networking. So we've asked each of them to come up and give us their one takeaway, or the big takeaway that they took from it. Now, it's one of those things, you go to a week-long conference or 5-day conference like this, and you come away with like 29 new ideas. I got to do that, I got to do. No. We want you to focus on just one thing that you're going to do differently. Because it's like, I'm going to get up tomorrow morning, and I'm going to work out for an hour, and then I'm going to read my Bible for an hour, and I'm going to meet with my wife, and I'm going to walk my dog, and I'm going to, like, no, you're not. Pick one thing to start doing. That's what we asked them to do, big takeaway. So I'm going to start down here with Jaime so you have a chance to breathe and collect your thoughts, Melissa. Jaime, what was your big takeaway?
There were so many. The biggest one that stood out to me, I forget the speaker, was culture is what you tolerate or create. I don't remember who said that, but what it meant for me was the example he was sharing made me think about what culture or what things am I tolerating in my relationships with my wife, with my children, with my family, with my clients? Because the example I thought of in that moment was when someone, like if my wife texts me, am I texting her back acknowledging I got the text message, or am I waiting until, I get all the things done that I'm working on my day-to-day? And I thought, gosh, that's a culture I'm creating in my relationship with the most important person to me in the world. I don't want to tolerate that, right? And then that made me think, well, what culture am I creating with my friendships and the people in my life? And so it really helped me look at that through a different lens of culture is what is not just created. We talk about that a lot. This is a culture, standing and clapping and high energy. That's all great. But culture is also whatever you're tolerating in any relationship you have. So if you do some deep reflection on what are you tolerating, is it your kids coming home and letting them be glued to the phone? That's a culture you're creating at your home, and I don't want that kind of culture in my family, in my home, with my children, with my wife, with my sister, with my peers here. I want a culture that's, full of warmth and love and honesty and transparency and communication, and so that was a huge takeaway. That's the one thing that I've been focusing on since Mega Camp.
I love that. That was cool.
So for me, there's a ton of things from business. It's hard to narrow down just to one thing, right? There's so many agents. You get to talk to so many different agents that are at different levels in their business that are implementing all different types of things, and you get to hear their experiences and really see the results. So there's not really specifically one thing business-wise. Mine kind of ties into what Jaime was talking about is Simon Sinek got up and spoke about your relationships, your friendships, right? We are in a relationship business, right? We are in a business of serving other people. And he talked about the importance of friendships. And I think that as adults, life gets a little crazy and days go by very quickly and we're in routine. And especially in our industry, you know, there's a lot going on. And it's very easy to get caught up in your day-to-day and to not nurture your friendships and your relationships the way that we need to. I know for me personally, my friendships is probably one of the things I'm most grateful for in my life. I'm lucky to have, you know, amazing friendships in all aspects, but I have a solid group of friends that I've been friends with since I was in elementary school, and we pick each other up when we're down. We tell each other how we're feeling. We share how our day is going. We share our struggles. We're all in different businesses, and yet we all relate in some way in the things that we are feeling and struggling with. So I would say for me, it's the reminder. I mean, Simon was talking about if you think about somebody, pick up the phone and call them. I know for me personally, I'm like, oh, thought about this person, and they'll cross my mind a few times, and sometimes I won't because I'm like, oh, I'm going to this appointment, I'll do it afterwards, or oh, I'll get through the day and I'll do it at the end of the day, and then life happens, right? And we continue going. And so for me, it was just, he was like, you know, whether it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 8 minutes or however many minutes you have, pick up the phone and call that person, because so many times when I don't, that person ends up calling me in the next like week or two, and I'm like, well, that's weird, right? But it's an energy thing, right? And then it's like, you know, I've been thinking about you, I should have called you, and it's like, then I'm like, dang, why didn't I call them? So even if you only have just a few minutes, pick up the phone and say, hey, I have 5 minutes before this appointment, you crossed my mind, how are you, right? Touch base with your people, love on your people, nurture your people. Our business comes from the people that show up for us, our friendships, our sphere, and loving on those people, even if there's nothing business going on, is really important. So that was probably one of my biggest takeaways.
So my biggest takeaway this year, I actually just implemented it this morning. So if you see my story, I was singing to Blanca, that's an agent. She's actually been the agent that's been with me on my downline the longest. It's been about 6 or 7 years. And I've always done this. I've always sang happy birthday to my mom or my children, you know, just between us. And I really love that Simon Sinek said that he sings happy birthday, you know, to his friends. He calls them, sings them happy birthday. And I was like, man, that is my biggest takeaway. We're always doing the most, writing so many notes down, and every mega camp and family reunion, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna implement these 5, 10 things. And then when you go to the following year, you're like, I really just implemented one, right? So this one was very simple, yet I think it's going to make the biggest impact for my business, because most of my business now, it's all referral. It's like 90% referral. So just pouring into those relationships that I already have with my friends and family, it's going to be huge. And everybody that knows me, Scott, they know that I love karaoke. I'm not saying I'm a great singer, I just love karaoke. And so I'm not very embarrassed to sing to them, so I made her day, you know. She was working out and having a smooth morning, and when I started singing to her, she started laughing. So that's something that I'm gonna keep going. So if anybody's birthday's coming up, you know, you wanna hear my voice, just let me know. So that's the 5th? Oh, okay, see, there we go, we got one on April 5th. And so yeah, and another big thing that I love about going to these things, this was my 9th year, going to Mega Camp and Family Reunion, and every year I meet different agents from all over the country, all over the world, and I made some of the biggest connections through that. One of my biggest sales up to now was actually a referral from an agent in Florida, and I had met her at Mega Camp in Austin. So you never know what you're gonna get, you never know who you're gonna meet. And it's also cool to every year be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a year, you know, are y'all coming down? Let's do X, Y, and Z. And so I love that we were able to host, being with the Maloof International Group. This was the 2nd year. It was here in San Antonio instead of Austin, and we had our big Red Ship event. So that was really awesome. And I'm looking forward to next year doing it even bigger, so.
Are you guys seeing a theme here? really, I had, my biggest takeaway was relationships, right? I know a lot of people didn't, want to make the effort to come. It was hard to be there for 3 days, step away from your business. But on the very first day I got there, I got a referral. So I walked away from Mega Camp with 2 referrals, but the main focus, like you said, was touching the people that I met last year, making sure we had, something on the calendar to either meet before something or after something or coffee or drinks after. Really made it a point to do that. This year I had ChatGPT, my favorite business partner. He drafted up a little sign-in sheet for me, and I made it a challenge for myself to take a selfie with at least one person from every single state. And then I had on the bottom a little bonus points thing for if I met someone from another country. I connected with an amazing agent in Mexico, and I met agents from Japan, and so I ended up with 2 separate referrals from just being in the room with people. And then also I always have to say, like, Gary Keller did it. He's grown an amazing company, and he's done what we're all in this room trying to do. So being in front of him in the room, I think we had maybe 3 or 4 opportunities to just sit and listen and learn from him. I mean, it's really an amazing experience. And if you're the smartest person in the room, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. So that's what I've got, guys.
So yeah, give it up. They're great takeaways. So I think you heard a theme. Not one of them said, oh, I heard about this new system. Oh, I heard about this new program. Oh, I'm going to do this to my database. No, they're talking about the relationships and building a life, using the business to fund that life is what I heard. But by the way, you didn't finish your story. How many of the 50 states, I was going to ask you that, how many 50 states did you get? Don't look down. I know you got over half of them, so don't be like, I didn't get them all. How many? 44 out of 50 states and 2 foreign countries. I mean, she went in with an agenda. It was wonderful that she did that. So, the relationships, the personal aspect of this is really good. Is there a business aspect that you're going to take away and do something different in your business? And I know you specifically, Sarah, we talked about something you're doing, but I'll just go down the line real quick. Is there a business thing that you're now going to apply from what you heard?
Yeah, for sure. There was another speaker who was talking about if you hired a CEO for your company and you're paying them $200,000 a year, fire that person if they're doing minimum wage tasks. That was so big for me. Not in the moment, but the next week, I was doing my P&Ls, and I'm sitting here just typing data in for my bank statements into my spreadsheet, and something just hit me like, bro, you can pay your bookkeeper to do this like $100, $200, like what are you doing? Like if you want to be earning, hundreds of thousands of dollars, why are you spending time on this task? And so it was so fresh in my mind, so I just shot him a text and then said, I'm going to send you my PDF, I'm going to send you this, can you finish it for me? And then I went on to lead generating, and it's so crazy when you think about that. It's the simplest thing, but if you want to earn, say $500,000, really focus on what are you doing today? Where are you spending an hour or 2 hours that you could be doing different, or pay someone, $10 an hour, $15 an hour to do it for you. So I implemented that right away. Yeah, the minimum wage mindset. I'm over here thinking I'm saving. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it was crazy, but yeah, that was like probably my biggest thing I implemented.
So I think, again, leverage is key in this business, y'all. One of the biggest things, I know we are constantly hearing about AI, right? AI this, AI that. If you are not using AI in this business, you will get left behind. Please lean into it. There is so many things from a leverage perspective. As you scale your business, your time in general in this life is your most valuable asset. But as you're growing your business, you need as much time for your family, for yourself, to make sure that you're showing up the way you need to for your clients, right? One of the things that Garrett had mentioned that I was talking to him about is, our market's a funky market, y'all. 81% of agents have not sold a single house this year. That is a scary statistic. Now, again, with not dwelling on the negative, so how do you keep a positive mindset? How do you continue going in a market where you may, normally have a bunch of transactions one month, and then the next month you're like, wait, that's half of what I'm used to, or what's going on, right? Collaborate with people. I sat down yesterday with my lender, and we planned the last half of our year, our client appreciation events, where we're going to be getting business, how we're going to be showing up, the things we're going to be nurturing our clients with, all of these things. We planned into spring of next year as well. Collaborate with the people in your world, your lenders, your vendors, right? All of these people have spheres, and if you're sending them business, they're going to send you business as well. So I would say, learn to collaborate with that. And also, one of the powerful things about MegaCamp, and also being a part of Keller Williams and just in general, right? There are so many people in this room and just in general that are willing to help, right? Sit down with an agent. If there is an agent, kind of like what she was saying, like if you're the smartest one in the room, you need to get out of that room. Go talk to people who are achieving the things that you are looking to achieve. The biggest thing, y'all, I would say is like, be authentic. Right? Put yourself in rooms where you're doing things that you like. That is something for me that I've learned this last year. I've been in the industry for 13 years. Fortunately, I'm referral-based majority of my business. However, I still do open houses. I still door knock. I still call. I do all of these things, right? Put yourself in environments that you're doing things that you enjoy so the conversations are natural. I love riding my bike. I go do social rides. It's a very natural conversation when you're meeting new people, you're connecting with people, you're showing them your heart and who you are before you're even talking business. That right there is a level of trust that you can't match it, right? People want to work with you because of who you are. They want to see how your heart is. They want to see what you're passionate about. They want to connect with you on a level outside of business. Sometimes it's just business. However, this is one of the biggest, typically the biggest financial decision people make in their lives, buying and selling a house. And it's scary. There's a lot of emotions for people. And having somebody that you know their heart, you know that you're in alignment, that you have built that trust and rapport with, and you've done it in a natural way. It wasn't, don't get me wrong, the calls, open houses, these are all good, right? However, if you're meeting people in places that you're just showing up authentically as you and the things that you enjoy doing, your business will come. People will see your heart, they will see your knowledge, and these conversations and your business will be very natural. Mm-hmm.
So my biggest business takeaway is that if you don't get with the technology now, you're going to be left behind. So I'm really big on keeping it old school, friendships, relationships, all that's going to be what really matters and what's going to be the different than, all of the other companies that came and went. When there was a while back where we are all kind of nervous, like, hey, like they're gonna start doing house tours on their own, self tours, and we're not gonna be able to have that connection with clients. And I feel like that's just never gonna beat us because people still love, human connections, human touch. Yet the biggest thing too for agents that have been in the business 10, 20 years, like myself, we still have to be up to date with all the technology, with AI. We had a booth there with our team with the modular homes, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing we can focus on is what is the future gonna look like? It's not gonna look like the real estate of today. So just staying up to date, investing in yourself, you're not going to learn any of this stuff, just, staying out of those rooms. So putting yourself in different rooms, and also, like everyone said, surround yourself with people who are going in that direction. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for me, and especially, like I said, I don't like to be like, hey, I'm not a high C, I'm not gonna be putting in all these like little things in my computer, and yet whenever we focus on the personal stuff, we still have to keep up with everything else with technology.
So my biggest business takeaway is that, because there's a lot of other San Antonio agents that I also was talking to and that I met, and I'm not alone with the stale listings, right? The rough market, everything is moving so slow. I am a very impatient person. If you know me, you know this about me. And so like that's what those conversations were about. And it made me feel a little bit better that I wasn't by myself. But I did take away something from class, was having those hard conversations at the listing appointments at the kitchen table. While you are there, y'all know me, I just want to be your friend. I don't want to upset you. I like to, but then it puts me in the position to have those conversations while we're on the market, that's a terrible time. If things need to be done, if prices need to be lower, the conversations need to be had at the kitchen table. And I am so bad at that because I'm like, everything is great. We're all just having so much fun. Let's do it. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Sorry, I just want to add something to that real quick. So I want to remind everybody, y'all, we're in the business of relationships. We're in the business of sales. I have shifted my mentality over the years. We're not in the business of sales. We are and we're not. We're in the business of consulting and education. You are going to build your business and scale your business so much further than you could ever possibly imagine if you guys sit down and you go into everything thinking, okay, if this was me and I was them, and you treat everybody's time and money as if it's your own, and you go in, and because there's a lot of hard conversations, a lot of people don't have the equity to sell. If they bought during COVID, a lot of people are in rough positions, right? So if you just tell them, hey, look, selling is not your best option right now. Here's what it would look like. Give them what it would look like. If you're going to sell, you're going to have to come with X roughly to the table, or you may not make anything, or whatever the case is, right? However, you can also keep this as an investment property. If you need to leave, how much can we rent it for? How quickly can we rent it? We have property management and office we can refer them to. Just come as a resource to people, right? I did a market analysis yesterday. Gentleman is upside down in his equity. Rentals do not make sense for him. And so, what can I do? I can continue to be a resource. So what I told him is in January, I'm going to reach out to you. Let's see if we can protest your property taxes to get your payment down. Just continue to come from a place of serving, and you guys will continue to build those relationships. And just remember, we're consultants and we're educators at the end of the day. What people choose to do, they need to be able to make educated decisions, and that's why they come to us.
All right, guys, give it up for our panel. Thank you guys very much for your expertise and your time in giving back. All right, so you do want to stick around because we're doing the Premier Partner Perk drawing in a little bit. We're keeping you around for the money. So yeah, thank you guys for that amazing panel. Okay, a couple of announcements we want to go through. So because we skipped last week for team meeting, it means our next team meeting will be next Thursday. We're going to be back on the first and third Thursday of every month. So it might feel a little weird, like no time in between. Now, next team meeting, we are going to have the people from the MLS here. They have instituted a new coming soon program. Do y'all know about this, that you can put it in as coming soon? They're going to come and talk to us about all those rules. So you'll want to be here next Thursday. Tell your colleagues about it, because we want to hear, everyone should know about how you use coming soon inside the MLS. So that's our next week team meeting. Excuse me. Office is going to be closed on Monday, September 7th for Labor Day. So y'all can get in the building, but staff is going to have that day off, much deserved day off too, on that Monday. Our next vendor is not in the room, so we don't have to do a standing ovation, but Rhino Roofing is always one of our premier partners and a good friend of the family. A couple more things. So we have some amazing classes coming up, and I want you to put these on the calendar if they hit you. So first of all, Lone Wolf class tomorrow. We're switching from Dotloop into Lone Wolf. We're learning the tricks of how to make it more efficient for you, and it is going to be an amazing program. I know it's not 100% where we want it to be, but they're listening to us and they're making those changes. So that is tomorrow. Then next Monday, coming up on Monday the 31st, we have a guy coming in from the coast. If you want to learn about Portside, the coastal living and investment opportunities, some things going on the coast, if that's something you're interested in, just the opportunities, maybe how to get involved in that community, come to Monday. That's going to be from 2 to 3 right here. How many of you love being behind the video camera? Yeah, that's about right. So we do these content days for multiple reasons. First of all, we know it's expensive for you to hire your videographer, set it up, and then you don't know, what am I going to say? How's it going to work? It's going to take hours, and it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars to get something done. We do the content days, put it all together, so one, you get it done and it's no cost for you. Two, you learn to get comfortable behind the camera. The more you do it, the repetition, that's going to build the confidence you need to go out and do it more often. So if you want to do a studio content day, it's next Tuesday the 1st. Scan the QR code, sign up for a slot so you get the free video, the content that's being done, put yourself out there, and then you get more comfortable behind it. Like, Donald, you did one of those the other day. Your video keeps putting out there. Like, we get you the exposure. We cover the cost for you so that you get good at that and help your business. And then finally, we're bringing back a program we had a few years ago. Who remembers Property Exchange? We're bringing that back. The idea is, there you go, Melissa. The idea is all of you all are talking to people out there right now, specifically sellers, and we have enough resources in this office that you might have a buyer that somebody says, oh yeah, I'm talking to a seller, they're over in this neighborhood, they might be coming to market in 3 or 4 weeks, and you go, wait, I got a buyer that might want that. And we can connect you guys before it goes on the market and maybe minimize the cost, the expense, the hassle of all the showings for the seller, get the buyer in early if needed. So that is going to start next Thursday, September 3rd, 10 a.m. It's going to be on the 3rd floor up in the GSF suite upstairs. Melissa.
And even if you're new and you don't have any buyers or listings still come, it's a great learning experience.
Exactly. Yeah, come on in, just learn, talk. People are going to talk about how they maybe get a listing or presentation, things going on. You can learn so much just by sitting around people that are talking these discussions. And we're going to do that once a month, by the way. Back in the day when it was COVID, we were doing them, I think, weekly, but there's just not the need for that, so it's going to be once a month starting next Thursday. All right, so those are all those. Our annual golf tournament, the Charity Golf Tournament, is coming up in October 8th. They're selling raffle tickets out there. Y'all saw the big cooler of booze out there. That's one of the raffle prizes. There's a $2,500 Visa gift card as well. And these are, we raise money to give to a charity. In the last few years, the charity we've supported is Ransom Life. And this is a group that helps when a child has been trafficked and they get rescued out of that. What are the next resources? Plus, they bring about education to parents to recognize when there might be predators and grooming a child. They also just work with law enforcement when that call for help comes in. It is an amazing organization all around trafficking, and man, there's almost not a bigger problem in our world today than our children being predated online through gaming systems, through websites, through innocuous stuff. It is horrific when you hear about it. So it's a worthy cause to support, but mostly it's a great day of fun. There's the golf tournament, there's raffle tickets, and there's an after party. You can do all three of them, which is what I recommend, golf, party, and buy raffle tickets, or do what you can on that. But it's really a great, great fun day of supporting a great cause. Yes? Do we know if our teams are, you can talk to Michelle, she can help you sign up, or you talk to the ladies out there. We'll get you a team, or get you on a team if they're full. All right, South Texas Summit. We are putting a regional summit together, sort of a mini mega camp. If you heard all the great stories of mega camp, this is an opportunity for just Austin and South, over to Houston and South. Keller Williams getting together in Galveston for a few days. There's going to be a mastermind. I want to make sure I read this right. Her Best Life mastermind with Wendy Papazon Wednesday morning. There's going to be a luxury mastermind Wednesday afternoon. Thursday is filled up with other workshops and masterminds. So just South Texas Keller Williams agents are going to be at this. So you can network, you can learn together. It's a few $100s for the cost, and it goes from, you can go Tuesday night or Wednesday morning through Friday. There's amazing stuff going on. I really encourage you to invest in your business. As you heard these panelists talk about how you can get an expanded life from it, not just for business, but a bigger, better life. And so we really want to try and pack that conference with majority heritage people. So please sign up if you can. All right, can we give another standing ovation to Joshua Creek Homes? Come on down, our final sponsor of the morning, or now it's in the afternoon, we're almost done. Joshua Creek, come on down. Hi guys. I'm so glad you're here. I saw you collecting cards earlier.
We are giving away a $100 gift certificate. So if you guys haven't put your business card in the bag, please do so. But Unfortunately, I don't have a beautiful speech like we heard from Directions or from the lovely panel that we had earlier. You guys were amazing, by the way. I love the culture here. You guys are all so inspiring. I feel like I'm getting more out of this than I can give you guys today, but hopefully I can give back something, and that something is education and time with you guys. We are a private builder. We don't have gigantic, deep pockets for marketing, but what we try to do, Richard and I, we're both sales consultants for Joseph Creek Homes. We're private, we're small, maybe group of 15 of us total. But we are doing big things. We're doing everything from production homes to semi-custom homes to fully customizable homes. And we'd love to share with you guys the processes and the materials we're using and all the things. We could really nerd out on that stuff. But I don't want to take up your time today doing that. Today I just want to let you guys know that we want to connect with you. It is about relationships. We want to be a resource to you. We want to provide access to our model homes, to our inventory homes. If any of you guys like to host open houses, we welcome that. We want to tell you guys everything about us and what makes us stand out. So please, at the end of the event, if you guys want to connect with Richard or I, we'll stay here for a little bit longer and answer any questions, specific questions, any clients that have questions about custom building on your lot. We're here for you. And again, you guys are amazing. We love the energy here. You guys are an amazing team. Thank you for the opportunity to let us come out and be here with you guys today. So,
thank you very much. All right, so we're going to do the drawing?
yeah. Sure. Okay.
All right, $800 gift certificate to where? To where?
It's just a master.
From Joseph Creek Homes.
From Joseph Creek Homes.
Joseph Creek Homes, just a MasterCard. And it goes to?
And the winner is Donald Fetzer.
It's good to be in the house and to win. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Joseph Creek Homes. We appreciate you sponsoring and being a valued partner. All right, a few announcements, and then we're going to do the money. And then I have a broker corner set up for you that's going to blow you away of what happened and what you need to know about it. We covered the summit. Sorry, did that. I didn't know. So our July stats, we closed out the books of July. We took 400 listings. We wrote 621 contracts. So if you think it's dead out there, it's not. It is quiet, but it's not dead. 621 contracts for $239 million of volume. It's not nothing out there. It's just maybe harder to get to. And we closed 640 transactions in the month of July. Again, it's not dead. You may just have to work a little harder. You can see our company dollar. We did profit. Whew, thank goodness. There's a lot of offices that are not profiting, not just KW, in general. You guys are amazing. Thank you all for your support. Our top closed volume in July, individual Helen Wajardo at $4 million. Our team, On Point Group, Melinda Holbrecht, $4.2 million. And the Lakefront Group, Hunter Crohn's Group, $17.5 million. Again, it's not dead. It may be hard to get, but go and get it. You guys are amazing. All right. Next slide. Up our stats. I went too fast. See, I double-clicked. San Antonio, New Braunfels area, you can see, yes, this tells a story that it is definitely slower where the price points are. Things under 300,000, as we know, are generally going to move, and under 400 is still going to move. You get above 400, and it flatlines. We see that. Yes, sales are down compared to July of last year. Active listings are up. We know the story. Don't let the numbers tear you down. Use the numbers to get sellers realistic, but also show the buyers it's a heck of a time to buy. There are bargains out there. There are reasonably priced homes that they can go and get. And I was talking, I was talking to Sarah. Do you know the interest rates have been in the 6s and the 7s for like 3 years now? Yet it feels like they've been there for like 2 weeks. Like we're freaking out over 6% interest rate. But it's been this for 3 years, and historically, this is kind of the norm. We just got so used to it being so low and always going down or staying low. So we have to get out and be the educators, the counselors, to do the job we need. And while the statistics may scare some people, I know y'all, doesn't scare you, you just rise to the challenge of it. All right, let's give away money. Miss Allie, you coming in to do this, or am I spinning the big wheel? I'm spinning the big wheel, even though it's not up on my screen right here. I don't know what I'm doing. Where's my mouse? Hello? Is Dan in the room? Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go. The first one for $250. Let's get this wheel spinning. You have to be in the room. $250 is going to go to... Dun, dun, dun. Misty Rios, $250 for using 360-degree painting. Thank you for using one of our vendors. I see it. David, it was right there. Did you see that, David? All right, here we go. For $500, let's see, we're going to remove Misty. You can't win the same one twice. $500. And Allie has your money, by the way. $500 is going to go to... Dun, 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 dun. Norma, are you in the room? You are! You just won $500! Woohoo! All right, for Key Title Group upstairs. All right, so we're going to remove the one. You can win multiple times if there are multiple entries, so we're not going to take Norma out complete. She might win a $750. Let's go $750. $750 is going to... Dun, 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 dun. Teresa Hare, are you here? Who's Teresa? There you are! Yay! $750 pillar to post! I love it. All right. I have to go back to the other slides now. I know that. I'm going to mess it up. All right. So, before I get to my broker corner, y'all, I've heard how much y'all love Whiskey and Wine and Wisdom, so we're bringing it back. So I have two programs. These are both Wednesday, September 16th. So coming up in a couple weeks, invite colleagues to this, by the way, not just Heritage colleagues. Invite other people from other offices. Let's learn and have fun together. So exact same content both times, but I realize that 4 o'clock in the afternoon isn't always convenient for everyone. So Whiskey, Wine, and Wisdom will be the Wednesday the 16th at 4 p.m. right here in this room. We're going to break down some troubles. We're going to enjoy a little bit of drink. We're going to have a little bit of food, have a lot of fun. Now, if the 4 o'clock hour is not for you, but you want to know the material, come at that morning at 10 o'clock for Caffeine and Common Sense. I've got a coffee sponsor. I've got some finger foods coming, and we're going to learn these things together in a fun environment together. So you can do either or both of those. I don't mind you coming twice. It's all good. It's fun. All right. Broker Corner. Man, this last week, we had an incident come up that I just said, man, I don't know how to tell everyone about this other than just go through the facts. This is on a buyer's temporary residential lease. How many of you have ever had a situation where you had a buyer temporary residential lease, buyer moves in a little bit early? By the way, it's a terrible idea, as you're about to see, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Oftentimes, it's unavoidable where the buyer needs occupancy because either they've sold their other property and this one just hasn't closed for some reason. They need a place to live. Now, maybe a hotel could be an option for a night or two, but man, that gets expensive for a couple weeks. Or what if they're moving in from out of state, right? They don't have a place here. Things got delayed. The closing-wise, they thought they orchestrated it all, but it just didn't happen. So I was like, okay, I'll let you move in a little earlier. You have to use the TREC form, the buyer's temporary residential lease form, put that in your contract. But there are some pitfalls that you really need to be aware of, and we're going to talk about a couple of those pitfalls. Well, one that actually happened, and a few others just to be aware of real quick. So first, big pitfall on this is the contract terminating. The buyer terminates, but now the buyer who's a tenant won't get out. That is probably one of the biggest risks that you can have in a transaction. Somebody occupying the property that you don't want in there anymore, and now you have to evict them. It is a terrible situation, happens more than you care to think about. So your seller should not enter this lightly without understanding the pitfalls. The next one would be the tenant has additional time to inspect the property. I've had several cases, buyer moves in, they're there for a few weeks, yeah, we're all excited closing, everything's looking good, we're going to close, and then they start living in the house. Can you believe how loud it is around here? These rooms sure seem small. You know, that AC is not nearly as cold. That hot water is not nearly as hot. Boy, it's farther from HEB than I remembered it being. Those dogs next door are annoying. So they start thinking about living there. And since they don't own it, they're not bought in yet. I've had many buyers over my 30-plus careers. They do that, and they go, yeah, we're not buying this. And they break the contract. That sucks, because you let them in there early. How about if something stops working? Now, I'll show you, this is going to be the point we're going to make here in a moment, but tenants think, well, it's a lease. If something breaks, the landlord has to fix it. That's not what the lease says, but we got in a really tricky issue last week that I'll walk through. I still think I was right, even though the seller ended up paying for it, but we'll talk about that. What if the tenant wants to make unauthorized changes? Improvements. Oh, we don't like this wall color, and since we're going to buy it anyway, let's paint this wall this pink. No, nothing against pink, I'm just saying. You know what? This kitchen's really small, and since we're about to buy it, let's knock this wall down so we can put in an island. It wouldn't be the first time that somebody just said, I'm going to be buying it, let me start improving it. And then, of course, it doesn't go through, and now the seller's left with all the damage on that. And finally, what if there's a casualty loss? Lightning strike, hailstorm, something happens, and the insurance finds out, oh, you rented the property? This isn't a commercial policy. We're not going to cover this. So there's real pitfalls if you're going to let the buyer move in early on this. But let's talk about one thing before I get to the main pitfall that happened last week. When does the lease terminate? So the lease is tied to the contract. Even though they're separate, they're tied to the contract. It says the lease terminates upon closing and funding of the property. Man, that's the best case. Then tenant becomes their own landlord. It's their lease. They can do what the heck they want with their own stuff. So it terminates when they close and fund. It's their property. Everything's good. Or termination of the property prior to closing. That's what I'm saying. What if the buyer doesn't get final loan authorization? Something goes wrong and they cannot terminate. Or they just decide to walk away. Or tenants default under the lease. Again, violating the terms. Tenants default under the contract. All these things. And upon termination, other than by closing and funding of the sale, tenant shall surrender possession of the property. That means like immediately. That's what I'm saying. They may not be prepared to leave. They thought they were buying this place. They're not packed up at all. Oh, you violated the contract. You're not closing. Get out. Well, we need a few days. You don't have a few days. Get out. So you can see the conflict that is inherent in these. So if you get into this situation for your seller, where your seller's like, okay, I will relent, have economic leverage against the tenant to convince them to move out as quickly as possible. What does that look like? Two provisions. A security deposit. Everyone goes, well, we don't need a big security deposit. They're going to buy it. How about $250? Wrong answer. Thousands of dollars would be my recommendation. Now, if it's a 3-day closing, like we were supposed to close on Friday, bank delayed, they're really good going to be on Monday, okay, maybe a couple $100 I can live with. But if it's going to be like 2 weeks, I'm talking $3,000 to $5,000 as a deposit, because here's why. Couple that with a holdover fee. Because the security deposit guarantees performance under the lease, if it terminates and buyer's like, I'm not going to get out right away, and I'm holding $5,000 of their security deposit, and then I'm going to charge them $200 a day holdover rent. Every day they're in there, I'm taking money out of their security deposit. Do you think that tenant is motivated to get out? Because every 5 days just costs them $1,000. Cheaper to be in a hotel at that point. So you want to have this economic leverage to convince the tenant to leave in a timely manner. Heck, they close, we'll put it on the settlement statement, or I'll hand you a check at closing, here's your $5,000, hallelujah, we're done. But if you don't have their money, it's very much a problem. Okay, let me go through this last scenario. Who is responsible? This actually happened. One of our agents was out of town, calls me, or gets a hold of me. They have the seller. Tenant is in their property under a temporary lease. They're doing a VA assumption, and it's taking forever. I don't know why VA assumptions have slowed down, but they have. They're taking forever now. AC goes out last week. And I read the temporary lease. Right here in this provision, paragraph 14, it says, tenant, it says, except as otherwise provided, tenant, that's the buyer, shall bear all expense of repairing, placing, maintaining the property, including but not limited to yard, trees, shrubs, all equipment and appliances unless otherwise required by the property code. To me, buyer, tenant, you're buying this place, you're moving in, you've displaced the seller, you're responsible for everything. AC goes out, that's a you problem. And that was my argument. Tenant came back and says, except as otherwise required by the property code. Property code says if it creates a health condition on the property, landlord, you're required to fix it. And I said, true in certain circumstances. I actually went and found the statute, and the statute, the law, the Texas Property Code says the tenant and the landlord can agree in writing to shift that burden back to the tenant if it's in the lease and either bold or underlined. Guess what? It's underlined. I sent that statute to the buyer's agent. They still said, we're not going to pay for it. Fortunately, it was a $500 fix. But could you imagine if they needed a whole new system? I still know I was right, but the seller, not wanting to get a fight, agreed to pay the $500. So here's my thing, and I told Ms. Daly I was going to give her a big shout out. Have a home warranty with seller coverage in place if you're going to put that bar. You should have it in place anyway. Caroline Daly and Fidelity Home Warranties have seller coverage. You don't pay anything up front, or very little up front. And the idea is, seller puts it in place, something goes out, call the home warranty. They come out and fix it, very little cost to the seller. Buyer gets the policy at the end of the day, everyone's happy. So if you're gonna do this, please, 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 use our Premier Partners, get a seller coverage home warranty in place. It'll save the day in that. But be careful of these things, is my big warning. And guys, I think that's all I got for you because there's no end slide, but thank you guys for bearing with us. What a wonderful team meeting. I'm glad you all are here. See you all next Thursday.